All right, guys, welcome back. It is good to see you guys today. And today what we're going to do is we're just going to do a quick review of today's workout. And today's workout, we did a lot of pressing. Okay, so we're doing a barbell press today. And Coach Molly's really warming up our shoulders, and we're going through a lot of band pull aparts and things like that. The reason why we want to do a press in today's workout is to build strength in that vertical press or that barbell press, overhead press movement. It is also good for building good stability in our shoulders, which is going to help with all of our overhead movements, as well as having some crossover to some of our basic gymnastics, even our push-up, our burpee, hanging from the bar, being able to stabilize our shoulders and things like that. So we're building good strength with that overhead press. So I'm gonna let this play through today. You see Coach Bob's belly sticking out there a little bit. He had too many cookies this morning, obviously. And I got the Cosmic Unicorn junk headband on because I found the leg in my car and I was like, well, what am I going to do? I better put it on, better wear it. We're also doing face pulls where we're basically pulling the band back. You either pull it towards your nose, your mouth. Some folks in the class are pulling it more toward their chest. Either way, what you're doing is you're basically warming up different parts of the shoulder. The scapula are moving, the upper back. So a lot of the muscles are just getting activated. And we need to do these kinds of things before we lift heavy, just so that we can really have all of the horses ready to start pulling that wagon, or basically more specifically to have the muscles of the shoulder ready to go so that the ones that do the stabilizing can help stabilize the shoulder and everything is ready to go. Otherwise, the first couple of reps and things like that are going to feel quite unstable. So I'm going to fast forward here. I also have a video from a CrossFit level 1 where they're going over one of the foundational movements, the overhead press. And so we'll take a look at that and what they have to say in the CrossFit level 1 as we're building up our barbell and doing some warm-up sets with the bear bar. So we'll do that. There we go. All right. And let's bring up that video from CrossFit.com. And I think it has some audio, so we'll listen. And this is the seminar staff, and they're going to be talking about the press and some of
showing you a couple reps of our
things that we're looking for in a press. See a couple of reps demonstrated.
All right, let's start by talking about the setup. Starting from the ground up, we want our feet underneath our hips. So it's a little bit closer than what we saw in the squat stance. Her weight's going to be rooted in her heels. She's going to be nice and solid and tight through her midsection, giving us a neutral spine. And this bar is going to be set up in the rack position. Now this rack position will look a little different than we saw with the front squat. You notice that her hands are outside of her shoulders. She's got a full grip on the bar. Now ideally this bar would be down resting on her shoulders rather than seeing this gap that we've got here. But you notice that her elbows are down slightly in front of the bar. All right, that's different than their front squat where our elbows were a lot higher and our grip was a little bit lighter, okay? We just need our elbows in front of the bar. So to execute this movement, she's gonna drive through her heels, keeping her midsection tight. Her head's gonna go back. She's gonna press the bar all the way up until her elbows are locked out, her shoulders are active, and she's moved through a full range of motion. All right, this means the bar is over the arch of her foot in that frontal plane. On the way down, she's going to break at the elbows, her head's going to go back, and she's going to return the bar right back to her shoulders to that setup position, all right? Go ahead and relax for a second. So our setup, we want to see our heels underneath our hips.
So I'll put him on mute a little bit, or at least turn down the volume a little bit as we're working away. Today's workout, we had a set of 10, a set of 8, a set of 6, a set of 4, and a set of 2. And the goal was to build to a heavy set of 2. Not necessarily setting a personal best, Today, that wasn't necessarily the goal. Definitely, we wanted to get that heavy stimulus. So we were given 15 minutes, about 3 minutes per set, something like that, 2.5 to 3 minutes per set to finish those. And it was important for us to get the rest in between each one of those sets so that we would be able to get those heavier loads up, right? So if we just did a set of 10, rested 30 seconds only, and then try to do a set of 8 and so on, we would have had suboptimal results, right? The bar wouldn't have been as heavy because we would have been more fatigued. We would have been developing a different stimulus that would have been more of a muscular endurance kind of a thing, more stamina kind of a thing versus a max strength. Max strength or a heavy lifting strength, that kind of a thing. What we're trying to do is to get maximal activation of we'll say the muscle fibers, so that we can lift heavy loads and generate great force with those heavier loads. And in order to get stronger that way, you do have to lift the heavier loads. Now, there is something to be said about lifting under fatigue. We've learned that if you are fatigued, that can actually stimulate more the muscle fibers to activate. And so just being aware of, the having, more than one set, right? I mean, if all we did was came in and we did one set of 2 reps and we lifted heavy, that would not be sufficient for developing strength. So we've learned that it's important to do multiple sets, obviously, so that we can really dig deeper and get more of those muscle fibers to activate. And so that's some of the magic that's going on when we are doing strength training. And that's why it's not surprising that you have multiple sets involved when you're doing your weightlifting. So we're doing here in the video, I'll turn up the volume on that a little bit. They're going over some of the faults that we could see. You saw her arching her back on that one.
She leans back. It's almost like she's turning this thing into like a standing incline bench press, right? A lot of times we'll see this happen if our athletes are tight through their shoulders and they're trying to get the bar back in the frontal plane. So if this is my athlete, what I need to do, I could give her a verbal cue. Hey, Katie, I want you to squeeze your abs or pull your rib cage down towards your hips. A lot of times I'll show a visual cue. Katie, you're leaning back like this. I want you to pull your rib cage down and squeeze your butt. There we go. So we get back into this position where we're now in a neutral spine. Now, what you guys need to watch out for, if it is that athlete that's leaning back because their shoulder's tight, what will happen when you start to, or when you correct this back position, tell her to pull her rib cage down, that bar is going to be in front of the frontal plane, so she's not going to be moving through that full range of motion. So if this is the case, Katie, I want you to keep your belly tight and try to push up on the bar and pull it back. You might play this little game, a tug of war, where she loses her midline, try to tighten that thing up, the bar goes forward. A way that we can kind of work around this is to widen the grip a little bit, create a little more space in our shoulders so we can start working towards more shoulder flexibility and getting a nice neutral spine and getting the bar where we need to see it. All right? Now, next thing we'll talk about is a nice straight bar path. Typically, what's the issue here?
Yeah, so definitely, we get the opportunity to work with a great number of people. And definitely true that, not a lot, but it's not uncommon to have tight shoulders and to have that same kind of compensation showing up in all the things that he's sharing with us. We use as some strategies to help us to prioritize our spine, essentially, to make sure that we're lifting, getting our mechanics down, getting the consistency with the reps, and then building on that. So let's see what we got going on here. We got some heavy sets. 1, 2, what am I on? 3, 4. It's got to be 6, 5. See how it's slowing down on those last couple? That's kind of what we're after, right? When you have that fatigue, you're going to have to recruit more muscle fibers to work in order to get that bar up. Let's see. What else we got? Okay, we're switching. We're adding a little bit more. This is probably Coach Bob's last set. Oh, yeah, definitely, because I'm going for the chalk. Chalk is always good for a little extra, not really, but I think it does give you a better grip on the bar. And there is some research that shows that a good strong grip squeezing the bar is going to actually activate more of the muscles. So if you really kind of drive your feet into the floor and really get tight and squeeze the bar and stuff like that, you will generate more force. I would wager. All right. So Coach Bob obviously is not doing any lifting. He's going to let Joshua here go first. Joshua looks like he's ready. Yeah. Come on, Coach Molly. So it's been cold for sure in the gym, but we did turn the heat on. We got the doors closed. So it was a little warmer inside the gym, but we were talking a little bit about how in those early morning classes, it can be pretty cold and the coach can be dressed in these giant parkas and trying to keep cold. And I was joking with Molly and she said that, hey, she almost brought it out this morning anyway. So it almost happened. So we got Josh with his set of 2. You get a little bounce on that one. Molly cued him up to not bounce the bar, and then he got that second rep. Look good, Josh. Look good, Joshua. All right, so Coach Bob says, okay, let's see what we got. We're going to do 2. I was able to kind of dial in the weights and use the chart to get pretty close to my percentages. So this is pretty close to my 2 rep max probably for where I'm at right now. Ooh, okay, that second rep wasn't too bad. I wonder if I went deep enough on it. I don't know. That's okay. It's okay. We're getting stronger. We're getting more fit. So then today's workout, we'll just play a little bit of that for you so you can kind of see what's going on there. We set the barbell up with a lighter weight. I had 65 pounds. RX was 95 pounds. The sweat version was 65 pounds. So I did have that. And I think we're just about ready to start. Are we? Well, we must already be in the workout because Marsha's already rowing. So we had 15 presses with a light barbell, quote unquote light. And then we would have 15 calories rowing. Man, I was really happy with the way the workout went today. Even though it looks like I'm moving kind of slow, that it is a 10-minute AMRAP, so it is pretty fast. Yeah, come on, Coach Bob, get that thing going. But I wanted to say that I was pretty happy with the workout because I was really getting some pretty good calories on the rower. Maybe not this round, but let's go to the later part of this workout. And I was able to really kind of get it going. I didn't feel like too fatigued on the rower, that I had my breath and I was able to move pretty well. So, I'm happy, definitely happy. Move that guy out of the way. Oops. There we go. And it was, that barbell can get pretty heavy if you don't feel, oh man, I'm almost falling on my toes. Come on, Coach Bob, finish up. Get those last couple reps. Let's go, Coach Bob. I did have a thought after this workout that when you have a smaller muscle group like the shoulders, which is compared to your hamstrings, glutes, and quads and all of that, it's really a smaller muscle group. So I'm coming up on my toes. It's so bad, but it was the last press. So I had to really go on the rower. We had, I had 45 seconds or something like that, or 30 seconds. I was trying to get the 15 calories. It wasn't going to be easy. You can see I'm definitely rowing hard now, so I'm feeling good. But I was going to say that because we have the shoulders are a smaller muscle group, they will fatigue faster. So it doesn't really take that much. And when you hit that wall, right, and you just can't squeeze out the next rep, what do you have to do? You have to rest. The gymnastics can be like that too. So our pull-up movements, for example, or our handstand push-ups. And I think that is almost to the detriment of intensity in the workout, meaning like in this workout today, the wall that held me back was just that barbell and being able to press it overhead 15 times in each round, and just managing the fatigue in the shoulders so I could complete the reps with fairly decent form. So it really wasn't the rowing in any stretch of the imagination. Now, somebody that was, more conditioned and moving better and things like that, and more competitive, they probably could start to push that rower more, where it would become more of an issue, meaning they were less held back by the barbell, and that they were able to keep that thing moving, and then they were able to push faster on the rower. And that's just going to play out as more rounds and more reps. Thank you guys so much for hanging with me. Take care and have a good night. Peace.